Good morning to everyone present here and a very warm welcome to the inaugural ceremony of second national seminar on constitutionalism in the age of AI, navigating the algorithmic maze. I am Ananya Ashvi, a third year student at Chanakya National Law University, Patna, and a research assistant at the Society for Constitutional Law Discussion. This inauguration session is hosted by the core team of TSCLD, and further, the technical session will be hosted by the event team. We are gathered here today to reflect on and explore one of the most dynamic intersections of our time, the evolving relationship between artificial intelligence and constitutional law. As the digital revolution accelerates, it is imperative to examine how AI interacts with core constitutional values such as equality, privacy governance, and access to justice. This seminar provides a platform for such discussions by bringing together distinguished academicians, legal professionals, researchers, and students from across the country. This event is being organized by the Society for Constitutional Law Discussion, one of the most prominent academic societies dedicated to the promotion of constitutional law and its interdisciplinary dimensions. TSCLD is not just a discussion platform. We run a peer-reviewed blog that has been ranked as the second best constitutional law blog in India by Feedspot and also has been recognized by APAC Legal Insider. We also organize national level moot court competitions, seminars, panel discussions, and workshops, all aimed at promoting meaningful dialogue around constitutional issues in modern contexts. It is our immense honor today to have with us a panel of esteemed dignitaries for the inaugural session. Let me begin by introducing our chief guest, Professor Dr. Manoj Kumar Sinha, Vice Chancellor, Dharmashastra National Law University, Jabalpur. Dr. Sinha is one of the most respected names in legal academia, having previously served as the director of the Indian Law Institute, New Delhi. His expertise spans international law, constitutional governance, and human rights. A committed academic and policy voice, Dr. Sinha has been instrumental in shaping legal scholarships in India, and we are truly privileged to have him with us today to deliver the inaugural address. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce our guests of honor, Ms. Amrita Sarkar, Advocate on Record, Supreme Court of India. She is an alumnus of WBNUJS Kolkata and currently serves as panel counsel for the Serious Fraud Investigation Office. She is also impaneled with the Delhi State Legal Services Authority. With her experience in both regulatory and constitutional matters, her presence adds immense value to our discussions on AI's implications in legal governance. Our second guest of honor is Dr. Astha Mehta, head of the School of Legal Studies, Apeejay University. Dr. Mehta holds a BA LLB from Amity University, an LLM from Nalsar University of Law, and a PhD from Amity University. With over 10 years of rich experience in teaching and legal research, she is a respected academic voice in constitutional law, gender justice, and legal education reforms. We are extremely thankful to all our guests for accepting our invitation and gracing this session with their esteemed presence. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Himanshu Raj, co-founder, the Society for Constitutional Law Discussion and Assistant Professor of Law at NIMS University, Jaipur, for the introduction of the organizing body and seminar briefing. Over to you, sir.
Uh, Thank you, Ananya. Respected Professor Dr. Manoj Sinha, sir, Vice Chancellor, DNLU Jabalpur, uh, Amrita Sarkar, ma'am, Dr. Astha Mehta, ma'am, panelists and speakers of technical sessions who have joined us today in inaugural session, participants and team members of the Society for Constitutional Law discussion. Good morning to all of you. At the outset, first I would like to thank Professor Dr. Manoj Sinha, sir, Astha Mehta ma'am and Amrita Sarkar ma'am for joining us today at this inaugural session of second national seminar on constitutionalism and AI on such a short notice. Uh, this is immense pleasure for me to give an introduction about this society, the Society for Constitutional Law discussion. This particular society has been started. This particular society has been started way back in year 2020 as a student-run constitutional law society at CNLU Patna, inspired by constitutional law societies of various national law universities across the country. After that, this particular society has gained a dynamic academics gained a tag of dynamic academic society engaging with diverse aspect of constitutional law discussion. Over the years we have expanded our scope to include dedicated blog and journal. We have a journal named as the Journal of Constitutional Studies, which consistently features top ranked content and enjoys the wide readership. Our blog has been recognized by various international organizations like FeedSpot, APAC, Legal Insider. FeedSpot has ranked the second most viewed constitutional law blog across the country. We have been also recognized by APEC Legal Insider as one of the biggest constitutional law venture currently operating across this legal fraternity. We conduct variety of academic competitions, including judgment writing competition, PIL drafting competition. We also host workshops and training program on contemporary theme, and we provide training session on various activities like LAMP fellowship, career mentoring in the field of constitutional law. Recently, we have also expanded our reach as we have launched a YouTube series titled Constitutional Law Simplified, where we break down the latest judgments, legal developments, and fundamental constitutional principles, which is accessible and engaging to all person, including who is from non-law background. Now, moving forward, the concept of national seminar we have started last year. Last year we have conducted a national seminar on contemporary constitutional challenges. In previous edition also we have witnessed more than 100 plus participation. We have conducted 8 technical sessions last year. uh, we have also released a book titled as a edited book on contemporary constitutional challenges, which has been published by Satyam Law International, one of the most renowned publication house across this legal fraternity. The book has been forwarded by Justice Sadanand Mukherjee, former judge of Supreme Court of India. Now coming to this national seminar, today's seminar is another landmark event in our journey. The national seminar on AI and constitutional challenges, or you can say constitutionalism, is being held in online mode, bringing together voices from across the country, academicians, students, and practitioners. We have a presenters from legal background. We also have a presenters from non-legal backgrounds, those who are engineers, those who are software designers, those who worked in the field of artificial intelligence. They also want to explore this dynamic area of constitutional law and this artificial intelligence. We have presenters from different colleges, like we have a presenters from DSNLU Vishakhapatnam. One of the assistant professors of DSNLU Vishakhapatnam is presenting a paper. Various academic scholars, students from this legal fraternity is presenting paper. We received 100 plus abstract, and out of which more than 60 participants have successfully registered and going to present their final paper. This seminar is structured across 10 technical sessions, each exploring a unique theme relating to the intersection of artificial intelligence and constitutional law. We are conducting this national seminar in two shifts. First shift starts from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 a.m. Second shift will start from 2:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Uh, so this is all from my side. Now I would like to request Ananya to further invite further speakers. Thank you.
Thank you, Himanshu sir. Now I would like to invite our chief guest of seminar, Professor Dr. Manoj Kumar Sinha, Honorable Vice Chancellor, DNLU Jabalpur, for inaugural address.
Thank you very much, Ananya. And Himanshu, thank you for having me for today's program. Though I was not very familiar when I received your mail, which has gone in spam. But luckily, that same day I looked into and then I read that and then I made it to come to the inbox. Any initiative by the young scholars is appreciated and recognized. And whenever I receive some like an initiative taken by the young scholars, I make sure that I have to be there. So I could have joined you as a in offline mode also, but just I noted you are based in Jaipur. I'm also going Jaipur in half an hour time, so I'll start today. So that is the reason I requested for start little bit early the program. Thanks Ananya for introduction and all the colleagues. I believe that I might have taught Amrita also. So you have brought NUJS. Amrita now is here from the NUJS. I worked in the NUS for many years and then I moved out from there. So Anita Sarkar, Astha Mehta, and all present here. It's just a second. Wait, कीजिएगा. It's a very interesting topic which you have chose for the discussion, and I'm very happy that a large number of participants have contributed and they are going to discuss. They contributed their paper abstract, and many young scholars are keen to participate in the activities, and they are here today. Uh, I looked into your brief note, and then I found the sub themes of the conference are quite broad and covers all important aspects which will have some impact on the technology. Let's start with the technology, internet, and now we have in advanced stage in artificial intelligence. So the technology or modern artificial intelligence, internet, all for last 20 years, 25 years, every occasion, every decade, you find a huge change is taking place. So we are in a generation who studied the constitution without internet, without online, so always in the library, DD Basu book or universal constitution. And then gradually we start looking into something which has come in 93, 94 in India, internet, World Wide Web, and some of our friends who were in this outside the country in 93, 94, and they proudly demonstrated their email name, and then like in the university, so such and such SOS School of Oriental and African Studies, London AC dot so even the we witnessed the email address as a privileged in the 93, 94. And I remember we stood in the queue just to write a mail in the university. So one computer. So we stood in a true sense in equality. Professor were ahead of us, then senior teachers, students. So everybody on the line, professor. So one or two computer. And it was also very difficult to enter in the computer. Today you open the computer, you go. There are a lot of skills required. Control C, Control F, Control D. You don't know, you miss. So we used to write and then enter in the computer to access email. So, but we have seen the differences, what is happening in the last 30 years particularly. So it's not the end. It's the continued process. We have to learn. That is the reason I'm emphasizing. So what we have today, maybe in another day we'll find some new version come. So we have to prepare ourselves. We have to we are living in a technological era. We have been living from NCA, from the for 300, 400 years, like, ago, in a technology driven society. But today technology is overpowering everything. And that is the reason we start linking. It's a both sides, positive and negative, how it's going to harm the society, how it's going to benefit the society. We are in the conflict between the human intelligence and artificial intelligence. So our artificial intelligence is going to replace human intelligence. So we all will say, no, it's not possible. So human has created, and human is struggling with the artificial intelligence. So supremacy of human intelligence will be there. And we have to also ensure that human intelligence should not surrender before the artificial intelligence, because there are a lot of things. Students in the law college writing on a constitution law paper without using a pen, without using anything, just give an outline, a 20 papers project report is ready. So means a student has completely surrendered to the technology and said, "Ki you prepare the paper and ensure that that is also like, similarity check everything." So even your supervisor or teacher will not be able to find anything. He can only like, say, "Ki what I witness you in the class, your performance and your participation in the class and what you have produced, it appears little bit different." But it is, so that is the only way human intelligence judge. No, I don't think you have written. You said, no, I have written. And then he start asking you the question one by one. And then you lastly confess, no, sir, sorry, sir, I have used this technology, and that is the reason. So human intelligence always identify the capability of an individual who has used the technology. But a student who has a sharp skill and very good, and he has demonstrated his ability inside the class on any subject, can easily get away with all this, because he has like, strongly established his performance in the class. And so he decided, okay, now I don't need to work. Sir knows me in very good, so I can produce a paper by writing something on artificial intelligence. So this is the like, challenge between the human intelligence. So we should not surrender. So artificial intelligence has to be as a assistive tool. I say that it's like, the court also using an assistive tool. It should not be become the primary and we become secondary. And that is the things we have to, as a young scholars, because you have uh, a great future. You have 30 years, 40 years ahead of you, including all of you, to see that how this technology, how you go along with the technology, constitution, principles, and other things. So you have to ensure that things are remain in there. Let's start with the constitutional artificial intelligence and constitutional challenges to the constitution. I don't see much challenges on the constitution, but of course the area, if I go one by one, the first, I think, governance aspect, that is very fundamental. The use of technology, like as you see, if I'll just start with the artificial intelligence in governance in public administration. So you have identified that one a particular theme. And of course artificial intelligence can play a very important role in in concretizing or in shaping a good policy, which relates to like how to ensure an effective administration. There is a possibility of artificial intelligence in a limited time. So limited time, a great data, great information be before the authorities, and authorities can utilize. So when it comes to the governance, of course it has a great value. And we see that artificial intelligence, the positive side of the artificial intelligence, when we talk about, when you use the artificial intelligence, how quickly it summarizes, how it quickly some of the information which might have slipped from our mind, but it brings everything, what happened in the past, what is going, and it gives you a project, particularly in the future. So when it comes to the governance, it's for the good governance, artificial intelligence will be always a very important tool. And that we have seen when introduction of the computer in India took place in 1986, 87. It has transformed. There was always opposition, there was always fear that it will not be It will take the job of the same fear what you are talking about there today, artificial intelligence. Same fear, computer will take the human being. So all the banking job will go to the computer. So only computer will operate. But actually, the computer and human being all were moved together, and we start realizing the importance of it. There was a strong opposition in the era in the early 80s or late 80s about the introduction of the computer. Many states, including the West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh, and others, the government, and then that particular time they said, we are not going to use the computer because it will replace human being. But over the years, we came to know how computer has become a strong tool in all aspects in the courtroom. And then data, computer, everything, it is start become an important tool for smoothing the function of the administration everywhere it is there. The second one is the theme, the constitutional rights and artificial intelligence interference. There we see, in one hand, you have Supreme Court of India, starting from the Khadak Singh, or even before the case, right to privacy case, and finally in the almost settled in Justice Puttaswamy judgment, right to privacy has become a very fundamental rights. In 2017 judgment, and Justice Chandrachud elaborated how fundamental the right to. But the time judgment was made, we need to ponder over whether judgment was fitting with the time. In 2017, technology was prevalent. Every day, including all honorable judges, they also surrender their information to the computer-based technology. Everywhere you write, you click simply. So your information, and you also get a lot of information, how you conduct yourself, how you behave. That is, your footprint is there everywhere. What you food you like, where you visit frequently, what kind of person you are. The artificial intelligence can, just if I ask something about the Ananya, or if maybe in an artificial intelligence gets confused little bit, but if I narrow down and say the artificial such and such person is student of this year, give me the information, the artificial intelligence will be able, it depends, 99% will be able to give you the information. It may be, if I put my name, maybe a lot of information, but if you narrow down, you in law, name, and something, some additional tool, if I start adding, information will be there. So where is the privacy? So we have to accept, in technology era, there is a privacy concept is not is very difficult. It's very difficult, and that is the, I see the Article 19 and your Article 21. These rights are, there are a huge challenge when it comes to the artificial. We have a law, we have data protection law which has come into existence, but are these things are going to solve? You travel, whatever you do, you seek, your information is available everywhere. So artificial intelligence, or much before artificial intelligence, we believe that privacy has always a challenge with the technology, and that is the major challenge when we did, how far our right to privacy, how far our personal liberties are ensured as a fundamental rights under the Article 21 of the Constitution. So the authorities, the legislatures, and all others have a duty to see that balancing as far as possible between the technology. We have, a new tool, DeepSeek, Grok. Every day the new kind of branding is coming in the in artificial intelligence. They are competing in hours together. When DeepSeek came in China, it became, all of a sudden people started thinking, it's very dangerous. But next then, Elon Musk also came with the another one. So there is a competition, is to capture the global market on the artificial intelligence, because they believe that a huge market is there. So we have a challenge on our fundamental rights, uh, protection of the fundamental rights. It's a huge challenge for the state authorities as well, for the
Sir, you got muted somehow.
We have also right to reputation, but artificial intelligence in a moment, or like technology in a moment, can ruin your reputation. So there are a lot of challenges with technology where people just start judging you, what they see, what they read on the online, what they find some information is there. So these are the major issues are there. And of course, data privacy and surveillance issues, that is also very important. Privacy, I said, how much data privacy will ensure that we have to look into. We are little bit behind compared to the European Union, compared to the Americans, USA or other European countries. We are much behind compared when come to the protection of privacy. So this advanced society is also facing huge challenge when it comes to the privacy and other aspects. So we just imagine, at least there's a 10 years gap between the system protection regime in the European Union and protection regime what we have in India. And still, despite the strong system regulatory framework in the European Union and American system, still they are finding it's very difficult, and each day try to strengthen the regulatory mechanism. So it's a continuous. So one time, like a law we have made. So by that time we make, we see the change comes into the new lecture. It has to continuous process, continuous. It needs to be revisit and revised, and that then it's become. Of course, it has ethical and regulatory, like how at least as a teacher, as a student, as a academicians, lawyers, everyone has a very important role to play, because ethics and moral is it's an individual. It's like it's a what is right and wrong that you have to understand, and accordingly we have to play very important role when we do any activities or any kind of personal or professional. Our conduct should be ethically and morally regulated, and that has to be individual has to play very important role. Ethical issues, moral issues, where individual more than the state is there. And of course, policy making, judicial process, of course, judicial process. Another day, fortunately, I was on the in a program. I just saw a sitting judge of the High Court. He was he says how he see the difference after technology, or a lot of software which has come. And he said, of course it has we rely on the traditional, and even that applies to me, we rely on the traditional mode of information, and as well as the little bit limited way on the artificial intelligence. So we take the help artificial intelligence as a assistive tool. So he said same thing. But what he said, in a recent time, what he witnesses that the plenty the brief before the judges are almost error free English, like perfect English. I say ki, earlier I used to read brief, and used to find lots of grammatical punctuation mistake were there. But today when I witness, so he says ki, I'm very happy. So means each lawyer is using some kind of technology where rephrasing and everything. So English is perfect. He said ki, every lawyer has English has become very perfect, which appears in the brief. And that is in a way it's a good. So some way using, earlier we were using, so even I say the students, a PhD student or MPhil student or LLM student, okay, while you have idea, you have a legal concept in your mind, you are familiar with the legal doctrine, you are familiar with the legal judicial decisions, but when it comes to writing, there may be some kind of uh, gap. So you must seek the help of a friend who has a good command over English, both written and English. So English legal editing, it's important. So it's okay, English editing, you get it done. You give your thesis, you ask your friend to rephrase the title, rephrase the subtitle, and language editing is important. So we recognize, so we always, including me also, we took the help of the language editor. So idea we shared. So language editor improve your writing. So some way the technology also improve your writings, but you do the first work and then seek the help of the technology or something, or even human is there in that particular aspect is there. Last 2 points which I have in my mind to share, because there are a lot of burning issues, contemporary issues. Constitution is there. When it comes to the protection of human rights, you have part 3. When it comes to the protection of the socio-economic rights, you have part 4 of the Constitution. When we come to the union and state relationship, we have constitutional provisions. We have uh, Schedule 7. So everything is there under the Constitution. But the role of technology, role of artificial intelligence can be enhanced, can be used more in a positive manner when it comes to the environment, when it comes to the protection of human rights, and also the program. I think Himanshu talked about the access to justice, particularly Article 39. There are a lot of information because of the indifferent attitude of the authorities. It has never been brought before the larger platform. Supreme Court gave series of judgments in the bail condition, releasing of the prisoners. There are a lot of judgments are there. But if you look into the execution of the judgments, you find very different approach. Because of various issues, we don't need to go, but somewhere it's become very difficult. The jurisprudence is very strong. The Supreme Court has done its job, but when it comes to the implementation depends upon number of information and details about there. So the technology, the more we connect with the technology, I'm sure that access to justice and also to the justice to the privileged sections of the society, prisoners and others, will be ensured more effectively in timely manner. With this, I would like to thank the organizer and all of you for giving me an opportunity to share some of ideas on this subject on a very important topic which you all are going to discuss today. I'm sure that the discussion will be useful, uh, and certainly that will help those who are participating, and those who for any reasons are not here today may will have an opportunity in future to read a book. I think Himanshu will plan to bring out a book of the papers presented, and that will help those who could not make it today for any reason. With this, I wish all the best to all the participants, speakers, and organizers for wonderful academic session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your views. We are so much thankful to you for sharing your views on advancement and technology and discussing the challenges and loopholes. Thank you so much, sir. Now, I would also like to mention that
Himanshu,
a
I will
few,
take, I seek your like permission to leave because so I have to go as I said early. So that's fine, no? Maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes,
Yes,
I'll
sir.
be
Yes,
here
sir.
and then I'll
Please,
leave.
thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes.
Thank you, Manoj, sir, for joining us today. Now, I would also like to mention that few legal scholars who have also joined us today for this inaugural session, who will be chairing the technical session. They are Dr. Ishita Das, ma'am, Assistant Professor of Nalsa University of Law, Dr. Priyanka Anand, Associate Professor, NLU Orissa, Dr. R. Prerna Sharma, Assistant Professor at Amity University, Dr. Sadaf Fahim, Assistant Professor, CNLU, Ashutosh Kumar, Assistant Professor, Amity University, Patna, Nikhil Nareen sir, and Bhavna Mahadev ma'am. Now, I would like to invite guest of honor, Ms. Amrita Sarkar, advocate on record, Supreme Court of India, to address. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you, Himanshu. So today's session, most importantly, the subjects that we're going to discuss in the sessions, it will be fascinating to hear the views of the presenters, especially because there is an intersection of artificial intelligence and constitutionalism. Both are regarded as living element who are constantly changing as per the lives and requirements of our citizens. Artificial intelligence, with its rapidly evolving capabilities, as we can see, whether be it in healthcare or it could be as simple as writing an essay, it has touched upon our lives and somewhere has become an assistive tool, as of course told by our beloved professor. But now, here the issue here is what happens to the law governing such activities? Because technology will obviously help our lives in decreasing the development, decreasing the time of getting a thing done. But at the same time, when we are replacing certain activities in society with technology, who becomes answerable and accountable when it receives the con side of such activities? AI offers immense potential, as we know, for progress. However, this potential technology also presents a lot of challenges as well. And we have started seeing this, whether be it in privacy, whether be it in fraud, whether be it in any kind of scams or any activity, be it in civil or criminal law. Constitutionalism at its core that we have studied is about establishing certain amount of limits on such powers, protecting our fundamental rights, therefore ensuring that the rule of law should never be undermined, be it a citizen or an individual or be technology. As AI systems become more sophisticated and integrated, as we see, we must ask such crucial questions. And these are the questions that we are going to present ourselves in the seminar today. How do we ensure accountability when AI starts making decisions that impact our lives? How do we safeguard our fundamental rights like privacy, non discrimination in an AI driven world? How do we maintain transparency and due process of law? How do we shape getting information, also opportunities? The answers to these questions are not simple. They also require careful consideration because AI is not touching only one aspect of our life. It touches various aspects of our lives, and hence different laws, whatever we are seeing right now today, all have to undergo a change simultaneously with the technology. These laws, they require careful consideration and, of course, very importantly, dialogue and debate so that we can understand what is happening and what are the steps that are need to be taken. We need to think critically about how existing constitutional frameworks can be applied and potentially adapt accordingly. Of course, the situation of technology in 80s were very different and laws also stood very different that time. Gradually, we saw a lot of advancement in technology and simultaneously, we also saw several laws being introduced, be it like Information Technology Act in 2000. So now what we are seeing is a different revolution and what steps are being taken right now. Also, in contrast, what steps have been taken for this particular area by different parts of the countries and the world. Furthermore, we must consider whether new legal and ethical frameworks are necessary to specifically govern the development and deployment of AI in a way that aligns to our values, societal values. This is not about stifling innovation, because innovation is, of course, welcome. They are assisting our lives, making it better. So this progress cannot be curtailed, but this progress cannot also be unlimited in terms of the development that will hinder our lives. Humanity and reinforces the principle of justice, fairness, and equality that underpin our constitutional democracies. Ultimately, it's up to us where we think that there has to be a line that needs to be drawn. So this conversation surrounding AI and constitutionalism has just started, I would say, because it's still in the nascent stage. The law is still in the nascent stage as to how the course will take place. We are yet to see it. Of course, as per other countries, EU has definitely brought some sort of a regulation, and there are countries who are actively also working on it. we are yet to find a particular legislation which can help us in controlling the powers of AI and also maintaining a balance so that it should not act as a deterrent also, because stifling of technological advancement is never a solution. At the same time, to understand the repercussion, because as we know that as and when the usage is growing, people will develop ways to also use it in a negative manner. So that way, depending on the effect, the laws will also have to be modified. The penalties have to be decided. Also, the most importantly, the fact is that it has to be in a parallel development scenario with the entire world. Because as we know, the technology is fluid. It may not understand boundaries, the physical boundaries of a country. So under the current regulatory framework, there are different laws right now, IT, then there is data protection. But at the same time, we also could feel a lacuna. As and when we use it, we realize that where it is filling our gaps and where it is actually creating a problem, where there could be repercussions. Of course, there is a potential of a repercussion, but how far it can damage and accordingly it can limit, the debate is yet to happen in a proper fashion. A short example could be if an AI ends up creating something innovative, will the AI also have ownership over that particular intellectual property? Doubtful. So, in a way, there are a lot of debates that will go on. This is just IP, but I'm sure when it comes to privacy, also, the laws are set, but these are also liquid that needs to be changed, that needs to evolve. So, building, I would not say a restrictive framework, but a regulatory framework is what we are required to see. We are also required to exchange dialogues among other uh, frameworks with the legislative frameworks to see how other countries are also utilizing their legal framework in controlling AI, in understanding where it needs to be controlled, where it needs to be advanced, where it needs to be encouraged. So building on this broader regulatory move, it'll be interesting to see how government is also trying to build a balance. As AI is also improving, the constitution cannot remain stagnant. It also have to make certain changes and also have to build that particular scenario where all of them are heard, none of them are um, set to limit their powers and privileges, and yet be beneficial for all the citizens. So, as we see that AI integrated further with society, constitutional challenges are bound to appear, whether be it equality, whether be it freedom of speech, it could be expression, right to life, it could be, say, right to profession also. At the same time, we also know that until and unless it is in use, the damage that can happen, that we can foresee, how far can we try and control it? The moment it is in assisted stage, it is fine. More we start relying on it and replacing human values with it, the problem arises there. Of course, technology and constitution, we have to see a perfect balance in it. It may not be as simple because there the issue arises where we are limiting the rights of citizens as well and also protecting the citizens from AI. At the same time, we need to see what all the experiments that are going on with respect to law as well. Because each and every new law that we see will require some amount of trial and error method. I think AI will also enter into the domain very soon. When the legislature decides to put in a law, I'm sure it will definitely pose a lot of interesting questions. Some of our questions will also get answered with the dialogue and debate and the presentation of papers that we'll see in the seminar. It's going to be very interesting, and I'm very happy that the organization has decided on a very important topic, especially in this era of technological advancement. And thank you so much for calling me and making my Sunday very productive. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for highlighting the very fundamental things like fundamental rights, the transparency and accountability, and that how to and focusing on balancing technology and constitution. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your views. Now, I would like to invite our second guest of honor, Dr. Astha Mehta, HOD, School of Legal Studies, Apeejay University, and Faculty Editorial Board, TSCLD, to address. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you so much, Ananya. Good morning, everyone, to the Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Dr. Manoj Kumar Sinha, Guest of Honor, Ms. Amrita Sarkar, Advocate on Record, respected members of the faculty, distinguished guests, dear students. Now, it's indeed a privilege and a great pleasure to be here for the seminar being organized by the Society for Constitutional Law Discussion. So must congratulate you all for the meticulous efforts. And thank you, Professor Himanshu and Mr. Ayush, for inviting me as a guest of honor at this intellectually significant seminar on constitutional in the age of AI, navigating the algorithmic maze. Very well thought, well thought of theme. This is timely, this is thought-provoking and very, very important, not just for the scholars, but I think also for the legislators, for judges, and for people who belong to the technological background. So, we are standing at a historical crossroad where algorithmic intelligence is beginning to shape the way we think, the way we live, and the way we are governed. So, from biometrics of surveillance and predictive policing to algorithmic decision making in, a lot of areas, artificial intelligence is no longer science fiction; it has become a public reality. So, and who knows it better than us academicians, where, the students are heavily relying on chat GPT for their research papers, for assignments, and for, quickly looking up information. I see students who had so much of difficulty writing simple emails are now writing such technical emails. Sometimes the whole meaning is also not making sense. And it's good to take help, but, that personal touch when you use artificial intelligence is missing. So I am somehow not comfortable with the total chat GPT writing. And it's so evident now when we see posts on social media and LinkedIn, full of chat GPT generated content, that sometimes you lose interest also in reading them, because that, at times they're just going to be, it's just a content which is put out there for people and it's not going to make much of sense. So use artificial intelligence, but use it in a way that is just helping you, it's just being of assistance to you, not entirely. And now that we are integrating AI into, governance, we must pause and ask ourselves what happens to constitutional values when machines are making decisions, because machines can certainly go wrong. And how do we ensure transparency, accountability, and fairness when the rules of decision making are hidden inside those lines of code? How do you preserve human dignity, privacy, and autonomy in a world which is increasingly mediated by data? So this is what makes today's discussion on constitutionalism in the age of AI not just necessary but very, very urgent. So if we talk about, constitutional, it's not merely the existence of constitution. So we are here talking about rule of law, accountability, protection of fundamental rights. So constitutionalism ensures that power, no matter how intelligent, must be subject to reason, scrutiny, and legality. Now, whether we are talking about human or whether we are talking about these algorithms, when they start acting without answerability, that is where, we risk violating the core tenets of constitutionalism. So when governments or corporations, they are using AI to make decisions which are affecting our lives, now from, credit scores to criminal risk assessments, now the Constitution here demands an explanation, non-discrimination, and procedural fairness. So if we talk about, Article 14, which is guaranteeing you equality before law and equal protection of the laws. Now, AI systems operate on data that reflects historical biases, leading to what is now called algorithmic discrimination. Now, if an AI system trained on bias policy is trained on bias policing data, which disproportionately flags minorities as high-risk individuals, it violates not only just Article 14 but the moral compass of a constitutional democracy. We are all aware of the Puttaswamy judgment, where the Supreme Court recognized right to privacy as a fundamental right. Now, in the age of facial recognition and biometric profiling and behavioral analytics, how meaningful is that right if our data is harvested without informed consent? I mean, if we talk about the Ghiblia trend, which is being followed by everyone blindly. Now, when we upload our pictures or our family's pictures, where is the privacy? And this is what they're exactly doing. They are collecting our data. So the state's duty here is to protect the citizens from surveillance overreach by the government and to regulate data exploitation by these private tech giants as well. So when we are talking about privacy in the digital area, it must be reimagined as a right to control one's informational identity. Now, what if AI system denies you a government subsidy or selects you for some investigation and you cannot understand how or why was this decision made? Then here I would say natural justice is at stake. And due process, which is the core element of constitutionalism, here demands that every individual has a right to know that what is the reason behind such a decision. But the problem here is the algorithms or whatever data that is fed into this system. The logic is too complex or proprietary to be disclosed. So can we really afford systems that cannot explain themselves in a democracy? And one of the most difficult legal questions today might seem very simple, that who is responsible when AI causes harm? Are we going to catch hold of the developer, deployer, data trainer, or the machine itself, which is not possible? So I think without humans in the loop, accountability becomes a ghost. Now, we have DPDP Act, which is a landmark step. Now, but there is a lot that remains to be clarified, particularly when we are talking about automated decision-making rights, data fiduciary obligations, and independent oversight. Now, definitely, our judiciary has shown sensitivity, and we have seen that in the Puttaswamy judgment as well. But we need more comprehensive legislations on AI ethics, transparency mandates, and algorithmic impact assessments. Now, what should our approach be? So I would say AI should augment, not replace. Human judgment, in sensitive decisions is going to affect rights, and it's important. So AI cannot do that. Now, in a democracy, law must be understood, challenged. So, if there is biased data fed into the system, we understand, it will be biased, but at the same time, you cannot leave it to technology, to AI to, make decisions. So be it, generating content or be it AI making decisions, I think humans are something which cannot be replaced. So there's nothing for us to be scared of. We are the ones making AI. So definitely, when the computers were invented, then also everyone was saying that, now the computers are going to do so much of work and we'll be replaced. No. So replacing human beings is something that can never happen, I feel. So also when you're using AI systems in public governance, definitely they have to be, and they would be subjected to audit, challenge, and redress. And I think there should be participatory policy making where you are including people from the technological background, lawyers, public. So everyone has to be included. So I would say to all the brilliant young minds here that you are not merely future lawyers, you're the future architects of rights. So your generation must grapple not just with statutes and precedents, but with code, ethics, and technology. So we really need lawyers who understand data, you know, students who can question algorithms, they understand how algorithm works, and we need policymakers, who can decode these tech jargons into constitutional language. So it has to be a mix of everything, where people have all sorts of knowledge. So legal education also, if I talk about, since I come from academia, it needs to evolve. And with seminars like this, like we are having today, forward thinking and interdisciplinary, this is going to prepare us for what lies ahead. So I think the theme is very well thought of. And since we are here talking about constitution, technology, so constitution is not anti-technology. So it is pro-humanity. AI is intelligent, but I would say the Constitution of India is wise. So definitely, as we are navigating this algorithmic maze, so we have to ensure our commitment to justice, liberty, equality, and dignity. So does not get lost in the sea of data. So we should not just build smart systems, I would say, but a just society. So thank you so much, everybody, for this honor. I look forward to learning from the paper presentations and all the inquisitive students who are participating in the seminar today. And I wish everyone all the very best. So thank you so much, Professor Himanshu and Mr. Ayush. And thank you, Ananya.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your views. As you rightly said that yes, personal touch is missing in today's AI era, and yes, highlighting the participatory policy making, and as you said that recent Ghibli trend has breached so much privacy. So it's very important in today's era that we protect our privacy. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your views. Now, I would like to invite Ashutosh Kumar, Assistant Professor of Law, Amity Law School, Amity University, Patna. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Astha ma'am, and a special thanks to Chief Guest, Honorable Manoj Kumar Sinha sir, Asmita Sarkar ma'am, and let me thank the team of the organizers for visualizing the future. And let me start that as already the speakers and chief guest has taken note of that they have an eye-opener, thought-provoking images of future. And let me tell you, this incoming of AI has not just triggered a debate of humanity, but the topic that is constitutionalism and AI, let me tell you, constitutionalism is sufficient enough to take care of 500 years after the planet is moving. Because constitutionalism has essence of humanity, dignity, and our judiciary is functioning. And let me tell you what Manoj sir has already said. I am just adding to it that traditionalism has no substitute. Means I'm not debating that which is good. We are living in the era of pragmatism, and pragmatism is teaching us that we need to take the future, which is the concept of our coming future, common future. That is, we are in the sustainable development regime, what triggered us. So let me just add on with the view which we have taken that there is not a limitation of AI, because AI is not going to dominate, because there is a human interference and AI will always be. But the Americans and Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, what they are planning to revolve the world, they are reshaping the world, and in future AI is working on the lifelong experience of a man and to reduce the burden. But how far human interference is going to change the world? We are continuously evolving, and this evolution, as per the traditional sect is saying, it can be the cause of destruction. But we have to regulate in the regime where we are. So we need to, as a student, as a researcher, this is a very important factor, that to deal with the constitutionalism, the challenges are IPR issues, challenges are overlapping and fragmentation of law. As honorable guest has already said, we are in requirement of law because things are dynamic in nature. And in present context, let me tell you, adding of more and more legislation will lead to fragmentation. So at the same time, we have to keep pondering on the issues, that why we are creating such numerous jurisdiction, overlapping jurisdictions, fragmentation of laws, and number of issues are going to come up. Issues are, for example, communal issues are going to come up, ethical issues are going to come up, pragmatism versus traditionalism debate is going to come up, and all the answers are well provided in constitutionalism, as Astha ma'am has already highlighted. So I will not touch that domain. For the all the speakers who are in later point of time going to present the paper may have gathered an keynote idea that what they need to inculcate in their research, because Professor Himanshu has taken a very good initiative of adding that there are non-lawyer presentations are also there. Means there is an idea which is required, that only no law people, because it is the adding of versatile domain, multi-dimensional, multi-sectoral approach is required when we are going to deal with any issue. So take of all the participants are required to be done. But let me tell you that traditionalism is the essence. No AI can beat, because I am saying this with a comprehensive evidence-based research, that we are relying on traditionalism. Whole world has seen during COVID that how important physical interaction is, because online we have exposed ourselves, we are willfully giving our data, and that data is being stolen. We don't have the accountability that what we are doing. So there is a requirement of self-regulatory theory which has been already been placed. But this self-regulatory theory is required to be more and more binding in nature, rather than having an options that we need to go for the ethical approach. So any work we are doing in advanced modern technological domain, whether it is experimentation of AI with the natures or on the animals, that future army is will be no longer a human army, it will be the machines which are fighting, it will be a machine versus machine. Then we need to think, what about the existence of human? Our machine is going to live for all the time? The answer is of course not, because without nature, without consonance of nature, we cannot survive. These dimensions are good for modernism, pragmatism. When it comes to the practical reality, the world is facing the issues of climate change, world is facing the issues of number of civil war, world is facing the issue of economic issues, job issue, agricultural issue. So our future generations are required to be more and more vigilant, and the self-regulated approach, which is not present in the domain, though number of judgments has put forth in the limelight that how we should deal, what are the best practices. Puttu Swami, Article 19, Article 21, all these multi-sectoral areas where which we are required to go. The only message is that our common future is not going to be compromised. Whatever we do, however the innovations we are going to make, our future has to give relevance to the traditionalism and a self-regulated approach, such that we can seek and we can prepare ourselves for the future challenges. These AI are creating jobs also. It's not that they are eating the jobs of all the human labor. It's not like that, because every time whenever we innovate, we create new avenues also. We are creating a lot of jobs, and the need of the hour is to do more and more innovations, to restrict, to point out, figure out the things which are not in under the constructions. So it is the need of our. At the same time, we need not to destroy the Mother Earth nature, which is the ethical norms, and constitutionalism is going to take care of all the things. It is well equipped to take care of all the humanity aspect, economical aspect, societal aspect, environmental aspect. So the requirement is self-regulating theory, which is required to be pondered in this new system of the action which we are going to prepare our future. In medicines, in IPRs, everywhere it is the requirement of AI. But how far AI we are going to use? Because recently a Bangalore case of a judge who was using the AI and non-reported cases, number of issues are going to come up, but we have to be attached to the ethical norms, that is the traditionalism, ethics, and principle of natural justice has to be taken into the account whenever any new things is going to come. It's not that law is not there. It is that how we are going to apply that law. We are going to apply the pragmatism theory in absence of law. And of course, equity is well placed. So for lawyers, for all students, my message is that we need to have a self-regulated approach when we are dealing with the AI. And AI cannot surpass, in same sense, we cannot rely 100% on AI because AI is itself driven by human intelligence. So with this message, it is going to be a great session. In upcoming technical session, we are going to see young minds coming forward and giving their own views, their research, which will be an eye opener for us and a great learning. So with this, I am summarizing, I am concluding, and a special thanks to Ananya and team, Professor Himanshu, and all the honorable guests who has opened a gateway of thinking. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for highlighting the key issues such as constitutionalism has essence of humanity and dignity, and the essence of traditionalism and the requirement for self-regulatory theories. And as you rightly pointed out, that many issues will arise, but constitutional can handle them very efficiently. Uh, Now, I would like to invite Mr. Ayush Kumar, Managing Head of the core team, the Society for Constitutional Law Discussion and legal consultant at Department of Prohibition, Excise and Registration, Government of Bihar, to give vote of thanks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ananya. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. It is truly a joy and an honor to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of the Society for Constitutional Law Discussion as we wrap up the inaugural address for the second national seminar on constitutionalism in the age of AI. First and foremost, heartfelt thanks to the chief guest, Professor Dr. Manoj Kumar Sinha, sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, DNLU, Jabalpur. Sir, sir is not in the meeting, and his words this morning were not just insightful, they were grounding. Sir has helped us frame today's conversation with a clarity and depth we are all grateful for. Our sincere thanks to Mrs. Amrita Sarkar, ma'am, who joined us as the guest of honor on behalf of the Advisory Board, TSCLD. As an advocate on record at the Supreme Court of India, New Delhi, your presence added a real weight to our gathering. It is always so refreshing to hear from someone who breathes life into the constitutional principles through real world practice. I'm also indebted to Dr. Astha, ma'am, HOD at the School of Legal Studies, Apeejay Stya University, and a valued member of our Faculty Advisory Board, TSCLD. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your warm presence and your meaningful reflections. I'm also indebted to Asutosh, sir, who joined us on a very short notice. Sir, you very well discussed the challenges of AI, and you very well discussed how in future in army army as well as human as well as machines will be fighting. A big thanks to Mrs. Ananya Ashvi for anchoring the event so gracefully. I'm also thankful to Mr. Himanshu Raj, co-founder and assistant professor at NIMS Jaipur. To all the chairs, panelists, participants, and our participants, thank you for showing up with your ideas, your time, and your curiosity. And of course, a big shout out to the TSCLD team behind every smooth session and beautiful graphic. As we now head into our technical sessions, I hope we carry forward this same energy and enthusiasm. Thank you once again. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir. And thank you all of you for joining this event today. Now, I would request all the participants to join their respective room for technical session. Technical session will start at 11:30 a.m. sharp.